Hi, you're watching Investor Insights, and in this video I want to discuss being aware of your investments, or more specifically knowing where you stand with your investments. And I want to do so by asking you a very simple question. If you have a bank account, which most people have, are you able to tell me within the nearest $5 or $10 of the balance of your bank account? Now, most morons would be able to answer that question. And sure, if you happen to have $20 billion and you lose track of where you stand in terms of monies at the bank, you know what? I forgive you. And not to sound patronizing, but I bet you that those blokes know exactly where they stand in terms of their money. So what does this have to do with your investments? It's actually a very important consideration when you invest or you trade, to know where you stand. Now, over the years, talking to people, listening to people, reading material, a lot of advice is given out about checking on your investments, looking at the stock price of things that you own, looking at your portfolio, and basically the advice is don't look at it. Most advice is you're in there for the long term. Don't time the market. It's more about time in the market. Well, my insight on it is this. It's a lot of bull manure. When you're an investor, or especially a trader, you have to know exactly where you stand. You have to know exactly where your stock is at, or where your FX position is, or your index position is, because it's something that you can't ignore. Just because something is running against you or has moved against you doesn't mean that you're just gonna bury your head in the sand and just hope that it comes good. Because man, in this market, when the momentum swings, man, you might never ever recover from a bad trade or a bad investment. Talk to people who invested in JB Hi-Fi in 2010 or 2011. They're now down easily 60%. How long do you have to wait before you break even on that one? You can't let your losses run for so long and for so much. You have to have a clear, precise knowledge of where your stock is at, and I think more importantly is where it's heading. Okay? I'm not saying check the stock price every 5 minutes when the stock market's open. I'm not asking you to check your FX position every 30 seconds. You just have to know where your positions are at. Failure to do so can lead to huge losses. And failure to do so leads to the wrong mentality about investing, about putting your money into something and then forgetting about it, and more importantly, hoping that it comes good in the long term. You're living in one of the biggest bubbles of all time when it comes to stock market and bonds. And when bubbles implode or explode, man, outflows are just going to destroy the stock market. You will never see your money come back from this one. It could take years, it could take a decade, it could take 2 decades. And if you don't believe that bubbles can burst and not come back, Look at the Nasdaq. Tech wreck in 2000. It's never recovered. Look at Japan. The Nikkei got to almost 40,000. It traded as low as 6,500 just a couple of years ago. And even today, it's trading at best 14,500. How long is it going to take for the stock market to get back to 40,000? Now, if you were one of those lemmings or one of these suckers or biggest fools that jumped in at 38,000 on the Nikkei back in 1989 and it got to 37, 36 and you didn't get the hell out and you just hung on for grim death hoping that it will come good eventually, it's 24, 25 years later now. A lot of people probably died in that period waiting for the Nikkei to come good. You don't want to do that. Know where you stand. If the position starts to move against you and you don't know where the likely direction from this point onwards is, and if in doubt, stay out. Cut your losses short. This market is going to kill you if you fail to obey this instruction. So take that into consideration next time you decide to ignore your positions or you're just ignorant of where you stand because you think that things are going to come good in the long term. You're patient, you want to wait it out. Try 25 years for the Nikkei. Until next time, profitable investing.